Woo! What's going on, guys? Ohms Forum coming at you today with another video, and it's another late video, guys. Sorry, this is just the way it's been going on with my life, so that's okay. We're gonna get this done. This is Lions training camp observations from day 3. Again, I cannot get this done without the Lions beat writers like John Macaron, Eric Schlitt, Jeremy Reisman, Justin Rogers, Jeff Risden, Tim Twentyman, all putting out the info so I can give the info to you guys, and we can dissect it, we can talk about it, we can question what's going on out there. So those guys do all the work, they get all the credit for this. But day 3 practice got real physical out there. Head coach Dan Campbell, coaching staff all had to step in at one point, and even had to kick out a player at practice. Showed someone the door, told someone to go hit the showers early. That player was Maurice Norris. We'll talk about him in a bit like that. But the defense was pumped on day 3. They've been early winners out there so far. Training camp just started. We're only on, we're only going into the 3rd day. And they were itching to go. DB Maurice Norris, I guess, apparently was coming downhill, man. Got told, did it again. Got shown he got shown the door. The early showers, man. So, we'll see how Dan Campbell handles this, but I know a lot of coaches don't like this, man. They don't like guys, trying to take heads off, especially when there's no pads. There's no pads going on right now, guys, and there was a collision, apparently, and there's been some injuries going on this football team that, just we can't just keep having these guys fall apart. So he got shown the showers, and they'll go from there. I'm sure he's not going to get kicked off the team. He's a good UDFA player. He's been playing very well, actually. So, but padded practice doesn't start until Friday. This is day 3, like I said. Day 4 is tomorrow, but it's an off day. So day 4 will actually be Thursday, and then day 5 will be Friday with the full pads. Now let's go to the attendance. Cornerback DJ Reed was back. His wife did have a child. It's their 3rd child. Congratulations, Mr. Reed, with your 3rd child. Told you he wasn't hurt. A lot of people thinking, oh my God, this guy's hurt too as well. No, his wife was pregnant, had a baby, bam. Running back Sione Vaikai has a hamstring injury. He was out for this. Dan Campbell saying he doesn't think it's too serious, but I guess he did miss some time early in spring too, and Dan Campbell was kind of put off a little bit about that too, and kind of put off about this, going, we want to make this guy a part of our offense, and he is in a battle with Craig Reynolds for that running back 3 spot. I still think it's Craig Reynolds' job to lose, but they have plans for Vaikai. They do, and being out kind of sets it back a little bit. Dan Campbell saying, this puts us back with his progress and his development, and it kind of hurts him a little bit. He's not going anywhere. He just needs to get healthy. He doesn't think it's serious, so hopefully he's back sooner than later. And then nose tackle Roy Lopez, he got stepped on yesterday. He was out today as well. It was a foot injury. I guess one of the cleats dug into his shoe, went right into his skin. Probably little laceration there, but he should be good to go within the next day or so as well. In practice injuries, there was 2 of them. Offensive lineman Jamarco Jones got hurt. It was cramping, so it's no injury. He did suffer some cramping. And then nose tackle Broderick Martin with a foot injury, evaluated. Don't know how serious it is yet. I was kind of looking for the news on there. It's kind of hush hush. When it's a little bit hush hush, that makes me tend to think that it's a little bit more serious than what it is, because it happened a long time ago and I still haven't seen nothing. So if somebody sees something, let me know in the comment section. But this isn't a good look for nose tackle Broderick Martin. This is a guy that has done nothing in 2 years here, has not developed, has had trouble staying healthy, has even dressed when healthy. So this is not a good look for him. This guy's already got 1 foot out the door. This is not going to help his cause at all. So he has a apparent foot injury. We'll see how long it is. Out as well too, cornerback Enos Rakestraw Jr., the corner, with a chest contusion. It doesn't seem to be a long one out. How long he's going to be out at all, don't even know. Defensive end El Quadin Muhammad, don't even know what this guy's injury is, but he is out. I follow all kinds of beat writers on this one, and I still can't I still can't figure out what Muhammad's injury is. So your guess is as good as mine. Linebacker Alex Anzalone with a hamstring, not buying it. This is all about money. Anzalone finally talked to the press, and if you've seen his body language, you watched the whole interview. I watched the whole interview. This is strictly about money. He is saying that this hamstring injury popped up during his conditioning test. Don't believe it whatsoever, guys. Please don't believe this. This is strictly about money. I don't know how much money he wants. He feels he is severely underpaid for his production, and there's a lot of guys that are making more money than him. Derek Barnes on our own football team is making more money than him, and I think that's asinine. Now, I don't think linebacker Alex Anzalone should be making a shit ton of money. I don't think he should be. I don't think he should be a top five linebacker paid, a top 10 linebacker paid, top 15. I don't think he should be that, but he should be getting paid a little bit more than Derek Barnes. He really should. And he's doing one of those hold-ins where it's not one of those normal hold-ins where this is coming from Mike Florio. So these are his kind of words. Mike Florio is like, there's hold-ins where these guys go in, they go to camp, and they're like, don't tell me to practice, don't tell me to do this. I'll go to meetings, I'll do this, I'll do that, but I'm not practicing. It's just that simple. I'm not here to practice. We're going to be friends, and we're going to work on a deal. This is one of those old school kind of hold-ins where he comes in, he reports, and he says he's hurt. I'm hurt. I got a concussion. I got a foot injury. I got an ankle twist. I got a hamstring. So that's what Florio kind of explained it a little bit, in so many words. This is an old school hold-in. So he wants more money. It's just that simple, guys. He came out. You go Google it, go on Twitter, go on anywhere you can, YouTube the video. It's strictly about money. He's not hurt. No chance he's hurt. He just wants more money. I don't know if he wants an extension. He says he wants to retire a Detroit Lion. He's going to be 31 in September. Okay, so this guy's not going to get a massive deal. I don't think he's looking for big money, but he's looking to get paid what he's kind of worth. And and yes, he did sign the deal. He signed the deal. You should always know. Everybody says all the fans are like, well, he should go out there because he signed that deal, blah blah blah, this and that. This is a business, guys. This is what sports is all about. They don't care about this and that, man. When guys start getting undervalued, when guys start feeling that they're not being worthy of what they should be getting paid, this stuff's gonna happen. It's happened since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Not as much when you hear about it when I was young, because we didn't have the internet back then. But now it's like these guys come out and they come on Twitter. They gather the reporters around. They have a powwow and they talk about it. So he wants money. He did not seem happy whatsoever in the interview too. He's surrounded by a bunch of reporters. Okay, he's surrounded by a bunch of reporters, and just go listen to it. And they asked him a question like, do Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes know about you wanting all this money? Know you want a new contract? And he's like, you got to talk to those guys. He's almost at a point. His words, he's disappointed. I'm disappointed because I guess this has been on the table for a while, and it feels like, from the words I'm kind of gathering or listening to, that they're kind of ignoring his requests. They don't want to talk to him about it. They're like, you're under contract, bro. Come practice. And he hasn't ruled out not coming back, though, without a new contract. He might come back with, just his same old contract. He hasn't ruled it out. My guess is he's not gonna, though. I hope this doesn't get ugly. It doesn't feel like it's there yet, but it feels like something's brewing. He's not happy with the organization. He's not happy with Campbell and Holmes. He's just not a happy camper. You can tell by his body language, his words. Just go listen to it. Trust me. He's not a happy linebacker. And we need him. I know he's not a superstar, he's not a stud or anything like that, but this defense is different with Anzalone out there. We've seen it. So, and we need a guy out there. It's just like he's not out there. This is like another injury. I mean, you might as well just chalk it up as an injury, even though he's not hurt. If you know what I'm getting at. So then they started with some 7-on-7 work. Cornerback Terry Arnold standing out again, having 3 good days in a row. He had a nice PBU versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let him know about it too as well. He's been all over St. Brown, by the way. Tight end Brock Wright had a nice catch versus Dan Campbell. Probably was the thrill. I think it was the catch of the day, from what I read. Goff had 3 straight completions. Tom Kennedy and Gibbs were in that mix as well. It wasn't a great day for the offense, though, apparently. And then safety Brian Branch was knocking down passes. Left and right had a nice PBU versus Tim Patrick pass breakup. So, and then the quarterback 2 battle, it's still going on. Obviously, Hooker was back to the number 3 team, and Allen was the number 2 quarterback. Allen did look poised. You know, he got UDFA wide receiver Jacoby Keane James and tight end Zylstra with a couple catches, and then he made a nice throw to Tesla, apparently, but Tesla had a drop. So, you know, Allen looked good, but Hooker had a good, solid day at number 3. Again, on day 3, Kennedy and Dominic Lovett making some catches as well. Keep an eye on Dominic Lovett, man. This kid's making some noise. The whole wide receiving core is excellent, by the way. Everybody, even the UDFA guys. It's kind of crazy. But the defense was pumped, like I said. Another dominating defensive day. One-on-one drills started off with rookie UDFA defensive end Keith Cooper Jr. won an easy rep. There's more on him a little bit. The rookie out of sixth round out of Boise State, Ahmed Hassanein, beat Skipper. Defensive end Mitchell Agude schooled offensive lineman Giovanni Manu, apparently. And then both rookies, Ahmed Hassanein and UDFA O-lineman Mason Miller, a guy that I like, got into it, you know, just kind of grabbing onto each other. Words were out there, maybe a little pushing and shoving, but no blows. But Hassanein is an intense human being. He is very intense. Listen to him talk, listen to his interviews, watch him out there. He's an intense kid. And like I said earlier, man, the coaches have to step in, man, and they have to give out warnings to the defense to tone it down a little bit. So, you know, when that happens with a guy like Dan Campbell, who loves physicality, by the way, and he's got to step in and say something, it's serious. So, and then Norris just did it again. He got booted out of practice for being too physical. And you don't really hear that too much from Dan Campbell practices, right? And then Kirby kind of like ran over to Maurice Norris, was kind of consoling him as they're walking off the field. And then Joseph later stated that he'd rather tell a teammate to dial it back than to dial it up. I think he used different words, as like giddy up or something like that. So, but he's literally, you know, you'd rather tell a guy to dial it back than to dial it up, because you're telling a kid to dial it up. His mind is elsewhere. He's not in it. You don't know what's going on with him. But when you tell the kid to dial it back, he's intense. He's in there. He's trying to get known. You know, he's trying to make a name for himself. So that's good mentorship by Kirby Joseph. I love that kid, man. Superman in the house, buddy. More notes. Branch did have a great day, but J-Mo did run right by him on a route with his speed and made a really nice catch, arms extended. J-Mo was just, nobody can match his speed. I don't think there's a DB in the NFL that can really match that speed for 4 quarters. I just don't think there is. And then Nate Lynn, another UDFA out of William & Mary from last year, who got hurt. I believe he got hurt, or he was on a practice squad, whatever it was. He didn't play the games. I think he got hurt, but he's showing out, man. He has some really nice pass rush ability. He had another sack beating UDFA offensive lineman Mason Miller. Mason Miller had a rough day, it sounded like. Goff getting familiar with his tight ends once again. Laporta, Wright, and Zylstra. Those are your tight end 1, tight end 2, and tight end 3 at the moment. Gibbs, you know, Sonic and Montgomery, Knuckles, getting reps together out there again at the same time. It's going to be a new wrinkle. I'm really excited about that look too as well. Opening up some eyes, man. Back to guys like UDFA edge Keith Cooper. Dan Campbell mentioned him. He was one of the first guys that he mentioned. when he was asked about what guys are kind of standing out, as the reserves, and he said right away, Keith Cooper Jr. He's flashing a little bit out there. He's 6'5", 280 pounds. So they love those big defensive ends. They love the guys that are 6'5", 6'6", that can get up and that have that weight distributed, the anchor, that can play the run, and have a little bit of pass rush ability. And he had 46 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 3.5 sacks last year. Keith Cooper Jr. did as a Houston Cougar, and in his college, his last year of college. So Keith Cooper Jr. getting some love. Third downs, these situations really seem to be the catalyst of the physical day. The energy was up. It's always up on third down situations. This seemed to be the spark that kind of caused all this mayhem. More special teams talk. Defensive end Isaac Uku stood out, and special team coach Dave Phipp let him know about it. He's another coach that's a high energy coach. You ever see this guy? Man, there's a reel last year of him talking to the team. I think the special teams had a really big day in one of their 15 wins last year. He is an intense looking mofo. He really is. He's a skinny guy, eyes bugged out of his head, just a very high intensity guy, and he's like that when he coaches too. So the energy was up with him. And then more Ahmed Hassanein reports. The 6th round rookie is quickly becoming a favorite to watch by these beat writers out here. All these beat writers, man, they mention him and they just love to watch him. The eyes kind of focus on him. He's a guy that, like I said, the energy's crazy. He brings it every single play, even if it's a run play, a pass play. Doesn't matter if it's what type of drill it is. It's 150%. It's just what he is. That's just what he does. He's a nonstop kid. The motor's nonstop. Then more injury news too. See, we're coming back to some things. This is why I like following all these beat writers, by the way, guys, because I throw all this stuff out there, and sometimes I come back to more injury news. Just say it's injury news, which we're going to touch on right now. Some guys that don't really talk too much about it. They mention it. Then some guys come in there a little more detailed. So that's why I like to follow 6, 7, 8 guys all at once, and they do put out a lot of the same stuff, but they kind of mix it in some new stuff as well. So this is some more injury news. Working with the trainers was cornerback Enos Rakestraw Jr. and then cornerback Stanley Thomas Oliver. So like I told you guys yesterday in that one video, I said when you see guys out there with trainers, they're prior to be coming back a little bit more earlier than expected. Not like a week or so or anything like that, the next couple of days, but they're going to be coming back earlier than you think they are, pretty much. That's what I'm trying to get at. So those guys were working with trainers, and it seems like Rakestraw will be back soon. Stanley Thomas Oliver, I don't even know what his injury is. Didn't see what it was, but if he's working with trainers, I'm sure he's coming back sooner than later. And then there were some timelines. Campbell was asked about some timelines. Rookie offensive lineman Miles Frazier, the kid out of LSU, the 4th round pick. He's got a knee injury. Campbell said September, October. So this injury kind of popped up. I know he missed a little bit of time in OTAs. We need him out there. He's a rookie. Don't know when it popped up. It must have happened during the spring sometime. But he needs to get out there. And then there's cornerback Khalil Dorsey with the right fibula kind of fracture. He's very close to returning apparently. Speed is there. Next is can he put his foot in the ground and pivot and drive? So that's what Campbell's words were about that. So he's close. Then linebacker Malcolm Rodrigo got that ACL. He was set to come back in November. Now it looks like it's going to be more October. I mean, hopefully that gets whittled down to September, but you know what? I'll take October right now because, he's healing properly and he's healing fast. Then defensive tackle Makai Wingo with a meniscus, probably September. Those are Campbell's words, probably September. So whatever is going on there, we need him to get back in the mix too as well. And then they did a little bit of blitz pickup, guys. You got to have good blitz pickups from your running backs, your tight ends. It looked like it was like a running back situation here. So the Lions defense was sending numerous blitzes on day 3, and running backs were working on their blocks, on their blocking skills. Montgomery stood out the best. He's really a good blocker if you watch him during games. He's picked up many blitzes. But when you watch Gibbs, it's a work in progress, man. I've seen a few times where he gets bowled over or guys just go right by him. But I guess he stood out on day 3. He's developing that skill, and he had a couple nice wins. So you want to see that. You don't want to see guys like Jahmyr Gibbs too much taking on a 6'4", 255-pound linebacker coming off the edge, though. That's a little scary, a little bit. But you got to get your nose in there. You got to be able to block. You know, that was one of Ben Johnson's rules too. No block, no rock. You know what I mean? If you can't block, you're not going to get the rock. You're not going to get the ball. So, you know, even with a Gibbs guy, you're giving him the ball no matter what. But you still want him to block a little bit, but you got to be careful with him because he's not the biggest of the running backs out there. But he's a hell of a talent. So it's good though that he's developing that skill. He's had a couple rough attempts if you watched him for the last 2 years. Just what it is. Now the rookie wide receivers, man. Tesla, he did have that drop like I talked about earlier, but he's playing mostly on the second team reps mainly, but he got some first team reps as well. So, hey man, they spent a lot of capital on this kid. Brad Holmes has been getting dragged through the mud for this draft pick since day 1. I just heard 97.1 the ticket today, coming home from work, and Rico Beard was going in on him. You know, I think Rico Beard is a complete buffoon though. You know, not just because of this take, just in general. But he had you know, he was kind of right, I guess, about this, because Tesla's got to come in. Like, what's he gonna do? Who's he playing over? You know, he's getting first team reps though. He's getting all kinds of second team reps. He's getting first team reps. This guy's probably gonna surpass Khalif Raymond. I have a feeling. I just have a feeling he's going to this year. I think Khalif's days here are getting close to an end. And Tim Patrick's older too as well. So it could be one of those guys too as well. Yesterday I called Tim Patrick. Today I'm calling Khalif Raymond. I don't want these guys to get beat out, but if Tesla's better, he's better. It's just that simple. And this organization, they feel or they think he is better. Because if he's getting second team reps and first team reps, especially the first team reps, they like him a lot. So, you know, he's a big kid, you know, 6'5", 215 pounds. He can run like the wind. He can catch. It's a guy that they like. And then Dominic Lovett, splitting time between the second and third teams. Like I said, keep an eye on that kid. He's a shifty little slot guy. UDFA rookies, Jacoby Keeney James and Jackson Meeks were getting more second team looks, which was surprising as well, mixing in some third team as well. James is starting to really show out. His speed and his yards after catch are on full display. Meeks stood out in special teams more, didn't really do much on the field. His blocking looked really good, translates into what they want in the NFL. This team, like I said, this team has a really nice young crop of wide receivers going on right now. You know what I mean? It's you know, they got all kinds of talent with Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Jameson Williams, and then, you know, Tim Patrick. You got Khalif Raymond out there. You got Tesla moving in on these guys. Dominic Lovett making some noise. Jackson Meeks, Jacoby Keeney James. It's a really, really talented wide receiver room going on right now in this training camp. So keep an eye on these new kids. We're almost at the end, guys. The offensive line, we never really started about it. Same starters, guys. It looks like it's, you know, everybody minus Dan Skipper, but right now it's Dan Skipper because Taylor Decker's not practicing. He got that shoulder cleanup. He should be back in a week or so after the Hall of Fame game. So right now, left tackle Dan Skipper, left guard Christian Mahogany, second-year guy. Rookie center Tate Ratledge, still there. Right guard Graham Glasgow, and then right tackle All-Pro Penei Sewell. So that's pretty much what your starting O-line is probably going to be. It's not going to be anything else there, minus Stan Skipper. You put Taylor Decker in there at left tackle. So it's a great O-line. You know, there's some young guys in there, Mahogany, Ratledge. There's some concerns at 100%. It's not the line of old with the Ragnows and the Zeitler and stuff like that. You know, with a little bit better Glasgow. Glasgow's getting up there in age, but this is an old line that looks like it can be something special again. Now, I don't think they're going to be a top 5 old line as of right now. I'm still going to have them out of the top 10 until I see some action on these guys. And then the second and third teams for the old line is multiple players at multiple positions. Pretty much just telling you guys right now, these guys are all versatile. All these reserves, they're playing everywhere. So me telling you who's here, who's there, you know, I'm going to tell you some things. Backup center is between Kingsley Aguakin, a UDFA guy from last year, Michael Neese. I think he's a UDFA guy from a few years back, who was the second center behind Frank Ragnow, and then Tristan Colon. Tristan Colon is in this mix. You know, these are the kind of the guys that I called. It seems like Graham Glasgow isn't really part of it, but he did take some first center snaps on day 1. Day 2, don't really know too much, but you might as well throw Glasgow in that mix as well. It's going to be tricky. There's a lot of guys out there. There's a lot of competition going on with these reserves, the second and third teams. Versatile offensive linemen. You know, keep an eye on guys like Colby Sorzel, they're working him at all 5 line spots. To me, that spells a little bit disaster, because it seems like they're kind of desperate. They're trying to get him to maybe, like, you know, win a certain job, a certain position, a guard, a tackle spot, a set. Like they're kind of like just hoping. It's like a hope and a prayer for Colby Sorzel. I think he's going to be a can't cut eventually. I really do. He was drafted a few years back, I think in the 5th round, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him, but I think his days are done, because they're trying to get him at every single spot, trying to latch on to something, and I think that kind of spells not desperation, but it just spells, you know, they're really hoping that he latches onto a position, and I don't think he's going to. I don't really think he's going to. Now the DBs, man, they're very tight in coverage. You love hearing this right now. Again, no pads, nothing going on. You know, these drills, the defense kind of knows what's going on most of these drills. They know the wide receiver or the running back or the tight end that they're going up against. They usually know the route that's going to happen. You know, some of it is kind of played out to where they don't know. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to always be a right cut to the right. And then the DB just pounces on that. But they seem to have the advantage right now early on. Like I said, no pads, no pressures on the quarterback, this, that, all that stuff. We'll see what happens when it's live play. It's offense versus defense. It's 11 on 11. It's going to be it's going to be different. These DBs aren't going to lock these guys up forever. You know what I mean? So, but all the DBs are stepping up, all of them. Even the UDFA guys, man, guys like Maurice Norris. Before he got booted out of the practice today, he was having a very good practice. You know, you guys got like Lawrence Strickland. You got guys like Ian Kennelly. Those guys are all stepping up, and they're all UDFA guys. But the main guys are stepping up. Terrion Arnold is having a fantastic early camp so far. DJ Reed is having a good camp. You know, he had that one bad day versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amik Robertson is having a really good camp, and Maurice Norris. Those guys they're all stepping up. So keep an eye on that, man. And then we're gonna end it with some special teams play. Like I said, this kid's becoming one of my favorite players on this team so far. I'm honestly thinking about getting one of his jersey. It's Grant Stewart. And you know, I guarantee you he's not a big seller with the jerseys. I feel that this kid is going to make an impact this year. even if it's on special teams, a linebacker reserve role, whatever this kid does, he's going to do it well. He's just a nonstop. The one thing that I really liked hearing about him today is that he keeps balling out there. He's the PP, he's the personal protector, he's the green dot guy, play relayer on special teams. He's immediately taken that Jalen Reeves Maven role and made it his own. So he does it all. Even in a play where he looked to be beat, apparently, he didn't get beat. So this is how it was explained. UDFA wide receiver Jackson Meeks got off the line with a really nice slick push-pull kind of move. Got him off the line, and Stewart does not get beat in these drills. He got beat. He kind of fooled Grant Stewart. Stewart just put his head down, and just beelined towards Meeks. And before Meeks could make any type of play, Grant Stewart literally blocked right into his path, got into his path. Didn't nail him because there's no pads, but he recuperated, got back to him, made like the play on him before he could get to the player or the ball, whatever the drill was. And Stewart just he regrouped and got back to his man and ended up winning the rep. You know, he lost the rep, then he won the rep, if you know what I'm talking about, because he didn't give up. This kid is nonstop. He's relentless. He's got a motor. Him and Ahmed Hassanin, man, must go out. You know, I can only imagine those two guys' conversations. They must be off the charts. So you know what I mean? So they must just be having a good time out there talking ball, whatever they're doing, man. So this kid's starting to become one of my favorite guys out there, Grant Stewart. Love it. So that's it, guys. Long one, 31 minutes, 32 minutes coming up. You know, it's the shortest one so far. One was a 40, one was a 35. This is a 32er. So hey, guys, thanks a lot, man, for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell up top. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Day 3 camp wrapped up. Day 4 tomorrow is a day off. Then we come back Thursday, and that's day 4. That's day 4. Then the pads come on Friday. Excited for that, man. So that's it, guys. I really appreciate it. We got the grit going on. We got the hunting season. But first, don't forget that the notification. Don't forget that notification. That subscribe button notification there on the bottom right. Don't forget to up top hit that bell, ring a ding ding. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. I appreciate it. Grit, Detroit versus everybody. Hunting season is upon us. Boom.